Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome to another episode of What's in the Bag, Jay? This is the segment where I pick 6 movies from my collection that I haven't seen, write their names on a piece of paper, throw them in the bag, draw one out at random, and do a short review. Now, returning from last week is Meatball Machine, The Beast of Exmoor, Shadow, Dead Riot, Brutal, Edges of Darkness, and making his debut is a Serbian film, Uncut. Yes, I've never seen a Serbian film. Now, all the names are in the bag, as you can see here. Going to give the bag a good tussle. And see what we can come up with. Alright, we have a Serbian film. Alright. Well, Brad will be very happy to hear that because he did send this to me and he wanted my thoughts on it. So I'm going to set that aside while I set all the movies side by side by side. And take my trusty Freddy vs. Jason die, throw it in the cup, and see what we roll. A 5. That means all the movies are coming back next week. That was simple. Alright, guys. Well, there's nothing to really vote for this week. So, I am going to go and watch a Serbian film, Uncut, and do a short review later. Well, I'm back. I just watched the Serbian film, Uncut, and here are my thoughts. A Serbian film, Uncut, is a 2010 film which runs approximately 104 minutes and is written and directed by, and I'm probably going to mess up this name, Sergean Spakovic. The only thing I could find on him was a segment that he did for the ABCs of Death, and that was R is for Removal. Now, I'm probably going to mess up these names. This stars Serdan Todorovic as Milos. He was in Holidays in the Sun and The Box. And Sergej's, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, as Vukmir. He was in War Inc. and Next with Nicolas Cage. A couple interesting things about the film. This was shot in 61 days in Serbia. And this is the first and only movie to get a R+20 rating in Japan thus far. A brief synopsis is this is about a retired porn star named Milos. He did a lot of porn in his day. Didn't really have much to show for it, and an old colleague, I guess, if you want to call it that, tries to talk him into doing participating in a film for Vukmir. This is said to be artsy porn. So he goes and talks to the guy, and it's basically set up as you, your wife, and your son will never have to worry about anything again if he does this film. Of course, being retired, he is married and has probably a 7 or 8 year old son. Maybe 9, somewhere in there. And in doing the artsy porn, it keeps getting more and more bizarre, and he's participating in things that keep getting worse and worse. Now, what did I think about this film? I'm not going to get into everything that is done because it's really not appropriate for this channel. Suffice it to say that this is probably one of the most disturbing movies for a reason. My thoughts on it, it didn't bother me as much as Solo, which I still haven't gotten through yet. I actually shut Solo off and haven't returned to it yet, although I will someday. But it is disturbing in its own right and quite offensive. And I am not a prude by any measure. I do like gore in my movies. But that's basically all I'm going to say. Now, there are a few things I liked about this film. I thought the acting was really, really good. Milos does a great job in this. So does Vukmir. His wife is adequate. His colleague is pretty good. His best friend also, acted pretty well in it. The movie is shot really, really well. That kind of surprised me. Wasn't really sure what to expect, but that did surprise me, that the movie was shot really well. And the practical effects in this movie are done incredibly well. Now we'll get to my cons. Oh, there is one more thing I liked about it. I did like the premise of the film, the overall premise of the film. I do think it says something about desensitization in society, but I'm not going to get into that really. But I think I would have liked the movie a lot better had some of the stuff not been shown. I don't think it was necessary, and I think it kind of crossed the line of what I'm comfortable with. I'll just put it that way. And to me, that's kind of a shame because, yes, this movie is very, very infamous for being one of the most disturbing movies ever. But the movie could have been so much more and so much better. And in some ways, I think they went for shock just for the sake of shock. I don't really believe it needed to be shown, but that's me. It's my channel, it's my opinion. I'm sure other people feel different ways, but that's kind of how I feel about it. Now, this is a movie I have always wanted to see, although my friend Brad sent it to me, and I did take my time in watching it. I heard a lot of upsetting things about it. So, like I said, I took my time in it, but wanted to get it watched, and that's my review. My friend Brad also watched this and gave a review, and I'd say we're pretty much on point with just about everything. When I watched his review again after I watched it, I was like, yep. I pretty much agreed with just about everything he said. But yeah, that's a Serbian film, Uncut. The movie's infamous as being one of the most disturbing movies ever. And it definitely lives up to it. But if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time.